Hello, classic cinema with the Sage Sisters, listeners and followers.
Merry Christmas. Yeah.
Merry Christmas Eve,
Yeah.
because this is airing on Christmas Eve, but we are talking about the movie Mississippi Masala today, and it is episode 23. This movie was made in it came out in 1991, but the movie begins in 1971 or 72, I
72,
think.
1972. Yeah.
Yeah, which is the year after I graduated from high school. So Mississippi Masala is, I went and watched the special features, and the director, what is her name? I'm looking for her name. Mina
Mina,
Naira and Nair, Mina Nair,
Mina Nair.
and the screenwriter, which I can't find her name on my paper right now. They wanted this movie to be all about race. So the whole thing is about
Yep.
the different levels on the ladder of race. And
So the screenwriter is Sooni Taraporavala or something like that. I'm
oh,
not
that's
sure how to
right.
say her long last name.
I know, really, me either.
But both these women are
Very
from
famous.
India. Very
Yeah.
famous, very famous.
Yeah.
And let's not forget to mention that the director, Mira Nair, excuse me, how inappropriate. Mira Nair is the mother of the new New York mayor,
Mondami.
Moham Mo, Mandami. Yeah.
Can't think
So
of his first name.
that's kind of a Zohan Mandami.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. You
Yeah.
know, that you see this son that she raised to be such an impeccable person.
Right. And I looked him up too, and I think he was even born in Uganda.
I believe he might have been, yes. Because isn't his father Ugandan? Or no?
Maybe.
No, his father is not. His dad,
I can't remember.
yeah, oh, we're cutting up. So, yeah, you need to look up her filmography because she's made some amazing films.
Yeah, so this movie has a bunch of really famous Bollywood actors.
Yes.
And one of the most famous is the woman that plays Mina's mother.
Mina's
And
mother.
her name is Sharmila Tagore.
Yep.
And she has done a lot of movies,
Yes.
Pakistani movies and Bollywood movies. Very, very famous.
And
woman.
then the man who plays her father has done a lot of films as well. He was actually,
Yes.
I believe, in Gandhi.
Yes. His
I
name is
he's been in the Indiana Jones, Temple of
Roshan
Doom.
Seth.
Yes.
Roshan Seth. Yeah.
He's
and
done,
of course,
he's done a lot of, I think wasn't he in Proof? Didn't he play a professor in Proof with Gwyneth Paltrow?
maybe he did. He might
Yeah.
have. So Denzel Washington plays Demetrius.
Yes.
He and Sanita Choudhury is Mina, and this was her very first film.
Yes.
But she's also very famous now too because she's done a lot of movies. This
has.
movie came out and they started filming right after he won the Best Supporting Actor for Glory.
Yep.
So
he was a big deal to be in this film.
Yeah. And everybody was excited to have him. So an ethnic Indian family is expelled from Idi Amin's Uganda in 1972, and they live in Mississippi 17 years later. The dad sues Uganda to get his property back. The grown daughter falls in love with a black man. Now, I think this is really interesting because one of the first things that happens is the car accident where she meets Denzel Washington,
yes,
which is so funny. And he's like, "Oh, okay," because I don't think his van is damaged.
No, his van doesn't get. Her car totally gets, and she's borrowing the car from her cousin or something.
Cousin, I think,
yeah,
who's getting married that day. So, but at the wedding, this is the interesting thing. There's this one eligible bachelor that all the moms are looking at to marry their daughter. I can't remember his first name, but his last name is Patel.
Yes.
And somebody, and he goes and he's talking to Mina while she's
Right.
putting up decorations.
Yeah.
And some of the mothers are like, oh, why is he talking to her?
Yeah.
Because she's dark, for one thing. Her
Well, and
skin
she
is dark.
says that too to her parents. They're like, we would really like you to get together with him. She goes, my skin. And she,
Right.
she put, my skin is too dark and you know it.
Yeah.
They do not like it.
That's the mother. Owns a liquor shop. Can you imagine? The father's a complete screw loose. Spends all his time suing the government of Uganda for his property. The mother has her eyes on Harry. But we're trying to get Harry for our Namita. You think this one has a chance? Arey, you can be dark and have money, or you can be fair and have no money. But you can't be dark and have no money and expect to get Harry Patel. Worry.
Now, this is also another really interesting thing, is her cousin, Anil, I think is his name. It's his wedding. And you see a couple of different times throughout the movie that he's married to this beautiful woman and they're sleeping in the same bed, but she won't let him touch her.
Oh no. Every time he goes to touch her and wants to initiate making love, she just slaps him.
Right. Or she's like, get off me.
She's like, get
or
out. So I
whatever.
think it was kind of arranged.
Yeah,
Because,
probably was.
you
And
know,
he doesn't know.
let's keep
We
in
never
mind that
see
I
him
think,
talking to her,
Right.
having a conversation. Yeah.
oh no, it's true. She doesn't even want to engage in anything with him. Very
Right.
true.
Right. Which plays into something that happens later in the movie.
Yes. Yes. So what I think is interesting is I've met in our community here many people through the place of work where I work at who are of Indian descent and are from Tennessee, Mississippi. And I've not knowing about world history and I completely forgot about the whole Idi Amin stuff. I'm
Right.
like,
Well,
how on earth did these Indians end up in the South? Well, this is exactly how. Because in the 1972, their ancestors were pushed out of there from Idi Amin, who wanted to make a pure Uganda.
he wanted pure Black nation.
Yes, and and then this voiceover, as you're hearing in this beginning of the film, is Idi Amin saying, "Too many Asian Indians are wealthier than Ugandans, and they must go."
Right.
And then of course they show the family that has to flee Uganda. Mina's parents. Mina's young at that point in 1972. And they have a beautiful home and they are
Right.
very prosperous, and you can tell. And the despair and the sadness that they don't know who will take over their home or their business, but they know they have to pack whatever they can to just
Right.
go.
And Jay, the dad, is a lawyer.
He's a lawyer, right?
So
and
she
he
said it.
has been raised there too.
Right. He was born there.
They were
He was
both parents were born in
born
Uganda
in
because
Uganda.
their parents were the ancestors that were brought there from the British in the
To
1800s
build the
to
railroad.
build the railroads. So the
Right.
colonizers were colonizing Africa, but they
Right.
brought all the Indian people in. And of course, they stayed through the decades and raised their families there.
Right.
And they became close to the Ugandans.
Yes.
They saw themselves all as Ugandans at this point in 1972.
Right.
They spoke Swahili. That
Mhm.
is, English and Swahili were the only languages they knew.
Right.
And this devastation of being forced out or killed,
Right.
because that was the directive. If you don't leave, you will be killed.
Yeah.
And then you can explain what happens to the father on part of what,
Yeah.
part
Now, now Mina explains, because Denzel Washington, I think, thinks that she's kind of cute when they have the accident,
oh yeah,
and she asks for his contact info for the insurance.
Yeah.
Now, his van was sandwiched in between the car in front and her. And the guy was the car in front is a white guy. He's yelling at Denzel Washington. But if you listen to the argument, the guy was stopped in the middle of the road.
He just stopped. Right.
And Denzel Washington was just sitting there waiting for him to go. So
He's like,
he could
you
go.
stop, man. Why did you stop? You suddenly stopped.
And then she runs into the back of Denzel Washington. So, it's not his fault at all.
No.
But the white guy's yelling at him.
Kind of wasn't paying attention, and she was driving rather fast because everyone told her to hurry. You got to hurry. The wedding's going to get started.
And she says to her aunt, though, her aunt says, or cousin, or I think their aunt, don't drive so fast. And she goes, if I don't drive fast, I'll get a ticket. It's one of those places where you have to drive a certain speed,
right,
or you get a ticket.
Right.
Well, unfortunately, she's arguing with her aunt when she has the accident.
Yeah. But what happens in Uganda is her father gives an interview, and
that's what you wanted me to say. Yeah.
And he spoke out against Idi Amin.
He gave an interview on the BBC.
And the BBC, and his life is in danger.
And he's arrested.
And he gets arrested. And his very, very close friend, who is a Black Ugandan, saves his life.
Yeah, he gets all this money.
Yeah. And unbeknownst to the father, she doesn't know given this money. No. He doesn't see that part of it. No. And then when they're driving away, they get stopped at a stopping point, and you can tell he's been a little beat up, the father, and then he and his best friend that he grew up with as children, I mean, they've known each other since birth. Yes. Has to tell him, you've got to go. You cannot stay here. You're not safe. Right. And it's no matter what, doesn't matter about the interview. You have to go or you will be killed. And this is going to be a Black Uganda. Yeah. And he feels, you can tell by her father's face that he is feeling betrayed by his friend. Yes. And I think that this is a symbol to me of how all these Indians must have felt. That their home, the only home they've ever known, and now they are forced to leave or they will be killed. Right. And how confusing it is to them. Yeah. Because they've only known a kind and loving Uganda. Right. And so the shock of having this new leader come in and do these things is affecting everything to them. Yes. And devastating beyond. I mean, I can't imagine right now being an American. The only thing I know, and go, sorry, you got to get out of here because, your heritage is Wales, so you got to go. Yeah. But they don't send them back to India. They're like, we don't care where you go. We got buses waiting for you. You're going to go to the airport. You're going to be flown out. Right. And the first place that they do mention, that Mina does mention, is they end up in England for a while. Right. Mm-hmm. She doesn't explain why they leave there. But once again, now there's an explanation of why there's so many Indians that live in England. Right. Because of this mass deportation. Right.
And also, when they move to Mississippi, it's because they have family and friends. Yeah,
people have already started, hey, come here. We've already established some hotels. But they were also a part of that mass deportation. Yeah. And so their whole family have already gotten their own businesses started, and her parents start the liquor store.
Well, actually, I think it's just her mother that runs the store. Because the women that are talking about her color and how Mr. Patel won't marry her because of her color. Right. They say all he does is create lawsuits to get
writes his letters. Yeah.
But I think he must do some sort of legal assistance.
He might, because he does say when they bring the car back from the accident, and then a little bit later point, he's like, I'm a lawyer. Yeah. I know what you're trying to tell me. And you're just trying to, because this truck drivers that stopped in the middle of the road, he sends his lawyer out to try to shyster them from their money. Yeah. Right. And he's like, and you can tell the guy's like, okay, we'll see what happens, which I'm sure nothing happens.
nothing happened.
Because he
But
does know the law.
the thing is though, that I'm not sure he's a licensed lawyer in the United States.
I'm not sure either.
But he's probably knows enough that he can direct them in the right direction and help them,
Right.
you know, with their any legal thing. The
I
other
think so.
thing that we have to say is when that accident happens, it is the Indians are discussing about how the Americans are so used to suing people, and so they're always afraid they're going to get sued.
Suing. Yeah.
So one of the people who he has his own motel. It's not the same one that where Mina and her parents live in the motel, and she cleans the rooms. That might be part of their payment for living there.
I think that might be part of the payment for living there is the cousins own that, or some sort of family member do own the hotel.
Yeah.
And they get to live
but the other guy stops Denzel Washington and his friend Tyrone, who are cleaning the carpets in one of the rooms,
right,
to make sure that they're not going to sue.
Oh yeah.
Black, brown, yellow, Mexican, Puerto Rican, all the same. As long as you are not white, means you are colored. Isn't that so?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
You know, the person whose car she was driving is my very good friend. Also Indian. You get me?
No.
He is worried because in this country, people are suing all the time.
Oh, yeah, I got you now.
You are a good man. All us people of color must stick together.
That's right.
United we stand. Divided we fall.
Right.
So, yes, just weird.
And you can tell they're both like, what are you talking about?
I know.
You know, and then of course you get to hear, you get some background on Demetrius, who I think I love that name. And you find out his father is working at this restaurant, and he helped Demetrius was supposed to go to college, but his mother suddenly died and he needed to help his father out financially.
Right.
So he was able to, through association of the people that his dad works for, to get a
white
loan.
people.
The white people. To get this loan for his carpet cleaning business. And his cousin, who was at the time living in LA, comes to work with him. They kind of develop a partnership.
Yeah.
And then you also get the clue that he's got a younger brother that's really struggling, hangs out with gang members and druggies, and you know, Demetrius he's trying to keep him straight. Because his own father just doesn't have time because he's working himself to exhaustion.
Right.
And I think it's a really interesting scene that there are these little party rooms that this restaurant has.
Yes.
And it's full of, you know, all these white people.
Right.
And he's calling them sir and ma'am. And, you know, they don't even give him a second look. You know, he's a nothing to them. And then he, you know, he's cleaning off the tables and bussing the tables. And I think he does all of it. I think he brings the food and busses the tables.
Yep.
And it's definitely obvious by the way he's spoken to that it's expected of him.
Yeah.
And
he doesn't even get a tip, he said.
Yeah, he goes out. You know, they stay there so long, and I'm serving him for hours and hours, and I don't even get a tip.
I know. Yeah.
You know, so, you know, they're struggling as well. You see that it's not just the Indian families that are having to work really hard for their buck in the white Mississippi, but so are these Black people. And when after the wedding, I think it's really interesting because that one single guy,
Mr. Patel,
that all the girls are pining after, and all the mothers are pining after,
because he's wealthy.
Oh, he's very wealthy. We don't know how he's wealthy, but we know he's wealthy. And he chooses Mina to go out after the wedding. And he's like, they're going to this nightclub bar place, and it's just really full of Black people. I mean,
I think it's a black,
I think
it's not, might be the only one that's open. That's why they
well,
go
that's
there.
what he says. It's the only one that's open until really late.
Mhm.
But the music is fantastic, and the atmosphere is joyful, and then you've also heard how there's this woman that Dimitri has, she broke up with him,
Yeah.
and he was in love with her, but she didn't think his carpet cleaning business was going to take her anywhere.
Well, and I think she's going into the music business
Yeah,
or
and
something.
she wants
And
to be a singer, so
and
she shows up at this bar as well, full
and
of herself.
oh yeah, I can't believe that he starts
I
to dance
know.
with
I'm like,
Mina just to make her name is Alicia, to make
Alicia, just
Alicia
to make Alicia
jealous.
jealous.
But I think after meeting Mina, he starts to see Alicia
Well,
differently.
Alicia's all like, "Oh, this is my new man," and "Oh, yes, I'm a producer, and we're doing recordings," and she's like rubbing it in his face as
Oh
well.
yeah.
And so, but you can tell, here Mina is there with Patel, and she goes off to dance. Which who wouldn't dance with Denzel Washington?
Well,
I
but the
mean,
thing is, it's a line dance to begin with, and
to
she
begin with,
wants him to go dance with
but he
her,
says
but
no. Right.
yeah, he's uncomfortable there. All
Yeah,
these
it's
black
interesting that
people.
he wants to go there, but she finds her comfort right
Yeah,
away.
right,
But that's the other thing that I think is really impressive about Mina. She's 23, getting ready to be 24 years old, and she's very comfortable in her own skin.
yeah,
She doesn't need anybody else's approval. She doesn't even need her parents' approval. You can tell that's how she
right,
lives her life. And she's comfortable there right away. She's not afraid to communicate with people. And
right,
then they're doing this line dancing, and then a slow song comes on because it's a live band,
right,
and they begin to dance, and she can tell right away he's trying to make his ex-girlfriend jealous.
right.
But she seems to be pretty okay with it, because I'm sure she's attracted to him right away.
Yeah,
And I this is the other thing I like about the movie too, is he invites her to his is it his
it's
brother's
his
birthday?
father's birth.
Oh, it's the grandfather's birthday.
No, it's his father's birthday.
Oh, okay, it's his father's birthday. And so he says, "Hey, do you want to come to this birthday party? It's, my father's birthday." And she's like, "Sure, I'll be happy to do that."
Yeah, we have to
And
say though that Mr. Patel is uncomfortable there and
oh,
wants Mina to
he
leave with him,
he goes,
but
"Let's go." Yeah.
she doesn't
He's
want to
like,
go.
"No,
And so
I don't.
Denzel Washington offers to take her home.
I'll take her home." Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's so polite to her, and he's so kind.
Yeah,
And
and he finds out more about her on the
yeah,
drive home.
they're on their trip. They're going to take her, and she tells them what motel she lives in, and um that's where the name of the movie basically comes up, because she talks about where she was born, and a brief history of why she had to leave Uganda. And he was like, "So you never lived in India?" And she's like, "No, I was born in Uganda." And he was like, "Oh." And then she says what her they call her a Masala, which is a mix.
Because she lived in England and now
She
she's
lived
living
in
in the United
England,
States.
and she lives in the United States, and she lived in Uganda. So she's this mixed spice. That's what Masala means.
Spicy, yeah.
She's mixed spicy. And he goes, "Oh, so you're spicy." He's flirting with her and stuff. And she's kind of chuckling. So
And
drops
then
her
he,
off, and then he asks
then
her
he,
out. But
yeah,
what I love is when she comes to, he brings her to the birthday party. And even at the bar, his cousin's all like, "Whoa, she's gorgeous. If you don't take part in that, I will." And she has no interest in the cousin, of course. So, and
right,
it's really great because the whole family just welcomes her
right.
into the home. And they're asking her all sorts of questions about why she never lived in India, and why she was born in Uganda. And Demetrius is like, "Would you leave her alone? Stop
Let her
asking her
eat.
so many questions. Just let her eat." And then, you know, the ex-girlfriend shows up, and, "Oh, hi." And
And she calls
And
him Rabbit.
she calls him Rabbit. I don't know why. And he's just like,
I love his aunt. His aunt goes, "Who's Rabbit?"
who's
Or maybe it's
Rabbit?
his
Yeah.
father.
But
Who's
it's really
Rabbit?
great because at some point Mina's like, hey, I'm going to go in and let me go in and see if they need any help in the kitchen. And she and the aunt, his aunt, are talking, and she's very welcoming to her. And that's when she tells her the story of how he was supposed to go to college,
Right.
but he couldn't because he needed to help, and he got the money to help out financially, and how the younger brother's kind of trouble, but he's doing whatever he can to keep him straight, and not get into drugs and the gangs and stuff. And it's just really, it's warming, and she feels at home right away. You can tell. And
Yeah.
it's not like they're even trying. They're just good people.
Yes.
They're just
Right.
really good people.
Yeah.
And then, it's time for them to go, and he drops her off. But I
Well,
like how
let's
the
say,
brother says to him,
I want to say something about what he says to her, because when Alicia comes, they're getting ready to go,
yeah,
and she calls him Rabbit, and somebody
yeah,
says, "Who's Rabbit?" And he goes, "This is Mina, and my name is Demetrius, and we're leaving now."
yeah, and we're leaving now. Yeah. But I like later when he comes back and his brother goes, isn't it kind of interesting that, you know, she was born in Africa, but she's from India and she ends up here. Our ancestors are African, but we were born here. He goes, kind of interesting, isn't it? And he goes,
Yeah.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
He's like, kind of weird how all those things kind of come together in
Yeah.
Mississippi, of
Right.
all things, a
Yeah.
Mississippi. And,
Yeah.
even his brother is really impressed with her too. I think his brother really likes her right away.
Yeah. Right.
Well, and because once again, when you have that internal confidence and kindness, that's attractive
Yeah.
because she's confident in who she is. She doesn't feel like she just needs to sit in the corner and go, oh gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do. She makes herself at home and she makes herself useful with them.
Right.
And I think that becomes attractive to him as well.
Yeah.
Is she's really knows who she is.
Yeah.
And
And
even under
that's,
all the strange circumstances of how she got there,
yeah, and it's I think it's part of the thing that about her is she's different than most of the other Indian
Right,
girls,
right,
because she knows who she is. She's not afraid to be sensual and
right,
sexual.
right,
She
right,
knows that she wants something better, but she doesn't know how she's going to achieve that yet.
right,
Um,
right.
and
And
I
she's
love
not,
it when
she's just not stuck up.
no. And right after the dinner, the birthday dinner, he takes her to the bayou, and they just go walking along the
I
bayou.
love that they have these really great conversations.
Yeah. And
He realizes he wants to get to know her.
I love it when he looks at her ring and he asks her
Yeah,
about it, and then he says, "Do you think that I'm trying to hit on you?" And she goes,
maybe.
"Maybe." Then he goes, "Well, I am." And then he says, "Is it okay if I kiss you?" Because
Oh, I love that.
he
Right,
doesn't jump on her.
right.
Yeah. So then that's when it starts to grow. Their
Yeah.
relationship
And you can
starts to
tell
grow.
there's a bit of a shift in him too, away from the ex-girlfriend.
Right.
Because she's so very different, and she's not pushy, she's just at ease. She doesn't need to be showy.
Right.
And that's when things do start to change. You can tell there's that shift in both of their lives, and she really
Yeah.
starts to see what she wants.
Right.
And I don't even know if she even thinks about that her being with a black man would disturb her father the most,
Right.
but she pursues it no matter what.
Well, it's not just her father. And that he, as the relationship progresses, he asks her to go to Biloxi with him
Yeah.
for a romantic
Weekend.
interlude.
Yeah.
And so she finagles it so she can go on the bus to theirs, not go
Right.
with him, but meet him there.
Yeah,
And
she doesn't tell her parents the
unfortunately,
truth at all.
no. unfortunately, Anil, her cousin, and two of his friends are in
The
Biloxi
cousin
at
who
the
just got married,
same
whose wife will not touch him.
right. And he thinks he sees her when they're on the Ferris wheel.
Yes.
And the other guys go, "Oh no, she wouldn't be in Biloxi. What are you talking about?"
Careful, right.
But then later, somehow later, they go to this motel and they see his van.
He's like, see,
And
she's here. Yeah.
yeah, see, and Anil goes and pounds on the door and and when Denzel Washington opens the door, he forces himself in and he attacks Denzel Washington.
Oh my gosh, it's horrible. I mean, he starts attacking him.
But
Like, who do
is
you think
it?
you are?
And the reason he attacks is because you're defiling my cousin,
Right.
which is
Like,
oh my
like
God.
she didn't have a choice in the matter.
I know, but and so one of the other guys goes and gets the police. So who gets arrested?
Of course.
And I love it when he somehow Denzel Washington, because of that conversation he had with her other cousin or uncle or something, where he was making sure that Denzel Washington wasn't going to sue about the car accident, because he says we brown people have to stick together. That's one of the things her relative says, and so he knows that they're afraid about the suing thing. So what does he do? He sends this. I don't even know if the guy was a
There's some
real.
stuff that happens before then, because at the police station, she gets picked up by her father and he starts to shame her.
Yes.
And then his business starts to fall apart. He starts losing business from all over the place
All
because
the Indian,
small town, and all the Indians have spread these rumors about him.
right.
And so then he's like, okay, I'm going to sue you. I'm
Yeah.
just going to sue you because
But I'm not
he's
even sure that
angry.
guy is a real lawyer.
Yeah, I'm not so sure he is either.
Uh,
But, you know, and
but I love
and he,
it that
of
Anil
course,
says it was my fault. He finally admits that the whole debacle was his fault.
he owns up to it, which is,
Yeah.
you know, I think he sees what it's doing to Mina. I think he sees that and he realizes his own anger.
Yeah.
And he is very good about that. Very true. And, you know, so, you know, he's even at the bank and because he was about to get approved for a bigger loan so he could expand his business. And now they're like, sorry, if you can't
We're
pay
going to
the
have to
loan,
repossess
have to
your
take the
truck if you
van. And his
your van if
cousin,
you
yeah, his cousin's like, I'm done. Don't know why I came here. I don't want to be in business with you anymore. I'm going back to LA.
Well,
And
I
he's
have
like,
something to say about his cousin's
yeah,
background. He
right.
tried to be an actor, and maybe he was an actor. But at the
Yeah.
I finally heard this when I was picking out things to put in this video. He tells Denzel's younger brother that
Right.
he came back to Greenwood because he didn't want to end up a druggie or something.
Right.
And he was starting to go down that path. And so he left LA because he didn't want the fame was getting to him.
The fame, well, and the hard work of trying to be an actor to make the money in the industry.
Right. And so and it's sad that he doesn't stick around to help.
Well, I think he's frustrated with life in general, to be honest. And I can understand that. And he goes, I was just talking to such and such, someone he knows in LA, and he's got work for me. I'm going back to that. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you should come with me. And Denzel, Dimitri's like, no, I want to try to make this work.
Yeah.
And I still have to take care of my brother and my dad.
Right.
So, when he gets so frustrated, he's like, okay, I'm going to have to get myself back out there, reacquaint myself with all these people. And her family dynamic is exploding. And her dad, in the meantime, Jay has gotten this letter from the legal and the president of Uganda saying, okay, we want to hear your case. You need to get back to Uganda so we can set a court date. And so he tells his wife, we can get everything back. We can get everything back. And she's like, everything what?
Yeah.
What are we going to have? from
Right.
1972 to now.
Right.
And so she talks to him about, where is your heart? Where is your family? You've been living back there all of this time, day in and day out, you're writing letters.
But she does say, and this is the thing that I think is so loving, your heart has been in Uganda. You have to go
You have
back.
to go back. You have to go find yourself. And
Mhm.
I think that is loving, that she gives him the freedom to do that. And they've told Mina she needs to end the relationship. She needs to find an Indian boy, but who's going to want her now because she's been with the black man. But what I think is interesting is he does try to come see her. Dimitri does try to come see her.
Demetrius.
And they
Mhm.
refuse him. And he starts to talk to her father, and he says,
Oh, I see. I see. So you think I ain't good enough for your daughter, is that it?
No, that's not it. Mina is free to love anyone, to live as she chooses. I respect her freedom. But that does not absolve me of my responsibility as a father.
Well, no disrespect to you, sir, but she's a grown woman and we care for each other very much. Now, I think that's all there is to it.
Mina is my only child. I don't want her to go through the same struggle as I did.
Struggle? Look, I'm a black man born and raised in Mississippi. Ain't a damn thing you can tell me about struggle.
What do you know about my...
No, I know. I know. I know you and your folks can come down here from God knows where and be about as black as the ace of spades, and as soon as you get here, you start acting white and treating us like we your doormats. I know that you and your daughter ain't but a few shades from this right here. That I know.
like he says, my color of my skin is not different from yours. And they see
Yeah.
it as the same in Mississippi. It's the truth.
Right. Well, yeah. So I love that scene because I think that's one of the first things that starts to help change Jay.
I think so too. I think so.
And
too.
then when he goes back to Uganda and he
It's so
goes to
broken.
their old house and it's trashed.
Oh, it was such a beautiful home, and I don't know what the heck. It's like, but I think because under Idi Amin, he didn't do anything for the Ugandan people that he said he was going to do.
I know.
Because if you look up Idi Amin, he was greedy, he was violent, and he killed his own people.
Yeah.
He was a lover of Hitler.
Yeah.
He wanted to be a dictator. He wanted
Yeah.
to own all of Africa eventually. He had
Mhm.
delusions of grandeur.
Yeah. Yeah. And
There's
he
some
didn't,
really
he
great
didn't,
documentaries about him. And there's a great movie called The Last King of Scotland it tells the story immensely well.
and it's so interesting that he was ousted in 1979. So
Yeah.
it was 71 or 72 when he came to power, and then in
72,
79 he's gone.
Yeah, 8 years later he's gone. They ousted him.
They
But it
ousted him.
took Uganda, quite a while to build back up.
Yeah.
It
Well,
was
and I think
a
it's so
painful
great though
time.
because when Jay sits down on the little wall to look out at the water
Yeah,
from the house that they used to own,
right.
and there are cows on the veranda, and it's a mess. Uh, and then he goes into town to find his friend, to see if he can find his friend.
Yeah.
And he
wants
goes
to
to the
reconnect
school
with
where
him.
he used to teach, and uh, he finds out that he was killed shortly after they left.
Yep.
That he just
And
disappeared one
then
day.
he's able to put it all together.
Yeah.
He realizes what his friend had sacrificed for him.
Yes.
His own life.
And that Idi Amin killed him because he helped him escape.
Yep. Well, and that's the thing about the chaos at the beginning of when all the Indians are forced to leave.
Yes.
And you could tell the relationships that they had built with the Ugandan people. I mean, people were sobbing. The Ugandan black people were sobbing
Yeah.
that their own friends and family, as they saw them, were forced out.
Right.
And then when his really close, his brother, let's just call him his brother, came to say goodbye as they were, boarding the bus, and he wouldn't look at him. And Mina and the mother said goodbye to him. He was, oh,
He was
it was
devastated.
devastating for him.
Yeah.
And you know, Idi Amin did not make a better Uganda.
Mm-mm.
He made it so much worse.
But all these years later, Jay goes back and he's wandering,
Yes,
kind of
it's
wandering the
beautiful.
streets after he finds
Yeah.
out about his friend. And
Yeah.
there's this like
They're
just
dancing.
people just dancing in the street.
Right.
And
Right.
I love it that he goes and he stands next to this man who's holding a child. And the child just reaches out and puts his hand
Oh,
on Jay's
it
face.
just makes me sob.
I
And then
know.
he
And then
holds the
Jay
child.
takes him and
He
holds
takes the
him.
child and holds him, and he's got this joy and this realization on his face. And then, you know, he tells Mina and the mother, "We're out of here. We're leaving Mississippi. We've got to get out of here." And she's just like, "Okay, well, and she lies to them and says, "Hey, you know, I forgot something. I've got to go find it so I can pack it." And she gets into her her cousin's car and takes off to go find Dimitri. And she goes all over the place to find him. And she finally finds him. And they argue because he's like, "Do you know what you've done to my life?" And she's like, "But we can rebuild it. We
Yeah.
can do this together." And she goes, "And I know what you did." He goes, You know I did what?" And she goes, "I know you only started seeing me to get back at your girlfriend, at your ex-girlfriend." And he's like, "Yeah, essentially, yeah." And he's kind of like, "And you still wanted to go out with me?" And she says, "I love you." And he goes, "Yeah, well, I never planned on falling in love with you."
Right.
And so he's like, "Yeah, but you know, if we what am I going to do?" And she goes, "We can do this together. We
Yeah.
can do it together. You're not alone."
Right.
And that is such a great way to end it, really, because her father realizes his own anger and prejudices. He goes and he writes back to his wife while he's in Uganda. "Home
That's
is where the heart is, and my heart is with you."
Yeah, and her face. She doesn't say anything. She's just reading the letter,
Nope.
but tears.
Oh, the tears, right. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And the forgiveness that he has given his friend and himself, because he had to forgive himself for his anger that he held for 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years he held this anger.
Yeah.
And he realizes he has to release that. And I love that Mina isn't afraid of her life,
Right.
with or without her parents. She
Right.
knows she has to build her own life with Dimitri. And that's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, and Demetrius, the name Demetrius is actually from a real person that they met when they were doing research in Mississippi.
Oh,
And they
wow.
used his
Wow.
business and his business title,
Oh, I love
like
it. Oh, that's
tagline.
wonderful.
Yeah, they used his tagline.
That's so fantastic. Well,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful name. And and you know, the realization that he has, because I think he's so hurt when his cousin's like, "I'm out of here." And
Yeah.
he's like, "Well, I am alone." But when she says, "You're not, we can do this together,
Yeah.
and we can do anything together. We can make anything work together."
Right.
And I think it's going to be good too that they do develop this together, because it's going to be unifying to communities in a bigger way than the movie does show.
Right.
Because they can unify as a culture.
Right.
The cultures coming together.
Yeah, now
And
did you
and
watch?
his family was already ready, because
Yeah.
when they show, you know, they start the credits, the end credits, and
Right.
they show the two of them, he and Mina, Dimitri and Mina,
Yeah.
and how they're happy and they have joy.
And he's wearing African outfit.
And he's wearing, yeah, the cap and I made me
Yeah.
cry.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
I was
like,
just going to
"Oh."
ask you if you watched through the credits.
Oh yeah, I watched the whole thing. And you know, and I know this is a movie that it is timeless.
Right.
It's so relevant to everything that we've all been through, and what people of color have been through, from
Oh my
no
God.
matter what culture you come from.
but it's so, the thing that I remember the first time I watched it was like, man, every culture has that ladder of,
Yes.
this is the top of the ladder and you're at the
Yes.
bottom of the
Yes.
ladder, and the
Yes.
two shall never meet.
Oh
And
yeah. Even within their own culture. Absolutely the truth. Because when she gets in the car accident at the beginning and the car gets brought back, they're like, you can't pay for this. You can't even help your own family.
yeah,
Well, you know that's going to change now
yeah,
because he will vest himself in
mhm,
his life. And the thing that I find so interesting is you still hear so many contrasting stories of still with race in Mississippi to this day.
yeah,
And I know there are famous people that are from Mississippi and other that they're working to improve all of that cultural divide.
right, right,
And I know there are white people that want to unify everyone.
yeah,
And it doesn't have to be just in Mississippi or the South. I think what we have been through this past year has been an enormous unification awakening for all of us,
mhm,
that we're all the human race, no
right,
matter what.
yeah,
And that's what this movie really touches on.
right.
It really, that is the message. It is the race message that she's amazing director.
Oh yeah,
And even the
oh yeah,
cinematography and the walks that they take at the bayou, the walk they take at the beach in Biloxi. I mean,
right,
it's their conversation is real conversation. It's not this super eloquent big dialogue. It's normal conversation that
yeah,
you would have as you're getting to know someone and that you're attracted to someone in a very mature adult way.
yeah,
And when they do end up making love, it's a very connecting moment for them.
yes. Now that was one thing that they were talking about is, um, Mira, Nair is an Indian director. In Indian movies, they don't kiss.
There's no
They, in
nudity.
fact, they might not even hardly touch each other.
Oh, right.
So,
Right.
so
Right.
here we are having this love scene, this sex scene,
Yeah.
which is actually it's it's very tame, pretty much.
Well, there's
But
slight nudity, but not
yeah,
what I love about it, it's shot in a way that shows that they've made a connection with each other.
yeah, right. Now, I have to say before we go that this is part of the Criterion Collection.
Yep, it is.
So, and the next movie of Denzel Washington's is also part of the Criterion Collection.
Yep.
So, yeah, it is. I forgot to look and see if it's part. Let me see if I have it on my thing. I'm not sure it's on the National Film Registry, but it is part of the AFI 2002. It was nominated for one of the 100 top love
Yep.
stories.
Yep.
So I don't know if it's still on that list or not, but yeah, so this is not just a fly by night movie,
No.
but it's not one that
No.
is played very often
Mhm.
anymore
Yeah.
because it does have uncomfortable questions
Yeah.
and points out uncomfortable things about race.
Well, for now, if anybody has HBO Max, it's on there.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it's on
okay.
HBO Max. So, we highly recommend it. That's why we talk about these films because we highly encourage people to
Yeah.
see these films. And quite frankly, who wouldn't want to see a film with Denzel Washington in it?
Oh my God. Yes. And his co-star, Shanita Shud Choudhury,
Yeah.
I think is how you say her name. She's been in a bunch of Bollywood. In fact, the first time I saw her might have been well, maybe it was this movie, but then the second time I saw her was in a movie, a Bollywood movie called The Kama Sutra.
Kama Sutra.
And she plays a prince, a princess. She's married to a prince, and she becomes a princess. But it's an arranged marriage, and so he's not really paying attention to her. He's paying attention to
Right.
this other woman that is his
mistress, I think, or something. I'm not sure.
What do they call him? Yeah, she's part of his harem kind of thing. So, yeah, that was really good. And then I've seen her in other things too. She's a really great actress.
She is.
So all of the people in this movie are really
They're
great.
really, really good.
And
So
another
good.
thing I kind of like about the movie is we don't see white people very often.
No,
It's the woman
it's
at the
telling
restaurant.
their two culture stories.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
And
guy at
I
the
think,
bank and the woman at the restaurant. I think that's it.
well, and the truck driver and the one truck driver's lawyer.
Oh,
And the
his-
lady that runs the restaurant. Yeah. There's just a few here and there, little smack girls here and there.
little,
But I mean,
yeah,
there has to be. It's Mississippi. So,
right.
but yeah, it's really interesting how here still in 1991 that Black people are still kind of struggling to earn a buck.
Or eat or get a loan, or I mean,
Yeah, it's crazy.
yeah,
He needs to get a referral to get a loan for his business,
yeah.
which I don't know if it's
and-
still like that now, but
yeah, and it's so awful that the banker says, "Oh, I hear that you've lost all your business, so I'm gonna." You have a month, and then I'm going to reclaim your van.
Well, and it's really interesting too, because I get them feeling, when they decide they're going to do something together, he's like, Dad, I got to go be with her. And I'm sorry about the van. His dad goes, don't worry about it. I'll take care of that. No worries. So I don't know what they go off and do. It doesn't sound like the carpet cleaning business.
Well, I like that she says, I know how to clean.
I know how to do stuff. Right. Well, and I like it too when her father's like, I want you to have better than being, cleaning toilets. And she goes, but it's a job.
Yeah.
It's honorable. What should I be ashamed of?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And he's like,
oh,
I mean, there's kind of a prejudice there that he carried with him from his wealth in Uganda.
Right. Yeah.
But that changes, obviously.
Yeah. So,
all right. We want you to see it. Please do.
So,
like, you watch it a million times and you'll never get tired of it.
So we're going to have a special episode for Christmas Day. And we'll let you know when we start that video what it is. So thanks for listening and watching, and go find Mississippi Masala because it is a fantastic
It's so
movie.
fantastic.
It's really good.
So it's just
really
timeless.
good.
It's timeless. It's so good.
It's timeless. You're right. Yeah. And it shows us how silly we are about race and hatred.
He's an excellent director. I'm so impressed. I did look her up. They've also have another son. She has two sons with her current husband, and he is a filmmaker as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he was born in Uganda. So I think he's an Indian that was born in Uganda.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, what a world history we've got, I tell you.
I know, really. Okay, until next time.
Bye, everybody.